I want to share with you something that literally could be the missing link to all of your health goals and your health journey. And this question came to my mind this weekend, and I absolutely mulled over and contemplated and thought about and researched this question. And it finally came to me, and I have to share it with you right away. And it's going to sound a little bit sciencey, but I promise you, it's going to make sense, and it's going to be really powerful for you to really grasp an understanding of this. So here's the question. Why do some people who have the same genetic makeup, and let's say they have the same toxic load, they have the same lifestyle, and they even have the same hormone levels? Let's say they do. Why does one person get sick, even cancer, and the other one doesn't? Why does that happen? And I wrestled with this question all weekend long, and it finally dawned on me. The reason that someone could literally have the same genetic makeup, the same toxic load, the same lifestyle, the same hormones, and the reason one could get sick and the other one doesn't, it's all about the voltage at the cell. Now, stay with me. I know, right? It's like, oh, okay, it's science. No, this is good. This is really, really good. The cell, which we're a bunch of cells, our body. Now, at the cell membrane, there are these channels, sodium-potassium pump, and these are their channels that cause the cell to have a certain voltage. And they determine that people who have cancer or are sick have a different kind of voltage at their cells that are unhealthy than people who don't have that disease. They have a different voltage. So that's the difference. And at the cell membrane is what allows that channel, those channels to make that cell its healthy voltage. And then the mitochondria within the cell is what charges those channels. Crazy, right? That's why somebody who has cancer or is sick and then they get better, why do they get sick again? Or why does it travel and affect them somewhere else? It's the voltage. It's the voltage. It's that energy at the cell. And these have to do with electrons. And, oh, it's amazing. Okay, so then I just kept going deeper and deeper, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So what are we doing that's affecting the voltage at the cells? Toxins, stress, heavy metals, stored traumas, stuck fascia, a disruptive gut. All these things are affecting that cell to be able to maintain its voltage. Crazy, right? What does that cell need to maintain its voltage? Well, the little mitochondria within the cell is it ignites those channels. It gives it its power. It's where the power comes from. So those mitochondria have to be healthy. And then the sodium and potassium and the other minerals required, minerals are like spark plugs. They are what make the cell have its charge. And then we need to limit the amount of damage that is attacking that cell. And then finally, the cell membrane, which is made out of like fat, out of fatty tissue, healthy fat, like, essential fatty acids, that kind of thing. That's what makes the outside of the cell. And when you have those things in line, then you can have the right cellular voltage. So let me give you an example. A cell with a healthy cellular voltage, and this is all measurable, this is all data-driven science. The voltage of a healthy cell is anywhere from negative 50 to negative 90 millivolts. That's its voltage. A cancer cell is negative 10 to 0. So that negative 50 to negative 90 millivolts, it's its potential energy to do what that cell has to do. That cell, if it's a heart cell, it's going to do heart things. If it's a liver cell, it's going to do liver things. We want that cell to be able to divide, protect itself, protect us, and do all the functions that that cell is supposed to do. If the voltage is right, the cell can do what it's supposed to do. If the voltage is off, then things like cancer and illness and things like that can damage the cell. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so what does it take to have a healthy cell with the right voltage? That's why we do things like red light therapy, PEMF, That's why we take minerals. If you're not taking minerals, I highly recommend that you take minerals. They're just so important for every function in the body, especially magnesium, because magnesium is required for every cell function. And chronically, our population is deficient in magnesium. 50% of the population is deficient in the magnesium. It's suspected that it's more like 80%, but we say 50% because that's more of the measurable number. So you need your minerals. You need movement. You need, well, I wrote some down, so let me make sure that I'm not missing out on those because I don't want to shortchange you on the information. Grounding. You need to be touching the earth because the earth is emitting ions and it is helping recharge the voltage at that cell. That's why we ground. That's why you step outside on the grass, you walk on the grass. That's why you walk on the sand and on the dirt, because we need to bring that earth's voltage into your cells so that they maintain that voltage that they're supposed to. What else? So we're grounding, fascia work. So fascia is the communication network over your whole body, and it allows every cell to communicate with each other. It's an electrical, I always think of the fascia like a conduit. It allows that electrical charge to move all over your body and keep your cells actively charged. So fascia work, breath work, getting into that parasympathetic state will maintain the proper voltage at your cells. So that's why stress, on the other hand, will disrupt and depolarize that cell and affects the voltage, because that chronic cortisol stress is keeping that cell at the incorrect voltage that it needs. And then movement. Movement is like charge. I mean, just think about it. If you're sitting sluggish and then you get up and start jumping around, or even if you clap your hands, you move that energy that's going to create that voltage at the cells. It really works. Things as simple as that. Can you imagine if you were to get your hands and clap, 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 clap? I don't want to make it loud, but if you just clap or even just move your body, this movement generates energy and it stimulates energy at the cells. Can you believe that? And then we talked about minerals and hydration. Hydration, it's water. Water is that conductor of electricity, of electrical currents. And then, of course, now we talk about, this is why we sleep well, eat healthy, not stress. This is why we do the cold plunges, the saunas, the red light therapies, detox. This is why we detox, because all those toxins that are built up in your body are affecting your body's ability to maintain that voltage. Isn't that wild? I had to share that with you because it kept my weekend pretty occupied with this concept of this voltage. When your cells are at the healthy and proper voltage, your body can stay healthy. And I am absolutely obsessed with helping people navigate this health and wellness space in a way that works with your lifestyle and your time and your resources. So I've created something called the Home Wellness Blueprint. It is a free course to walk you through how to organize all this into your life so that you don't just do wellness, you don't just go to spas or take supplements, but it becomes who you are. And that begins with creating space. That could be a small space, a bag, a box, a room, a garage, whatever you have. It's about creating that space so that you become a person who lives out wellness. I want you to learn how to become it, not do wellness. Because if you do wellness, they're going to keep coming after your dollar. But if you become wellness, then you're going to learn how to utilize the things that you already have, like the dirt, like the sand. And then you'll know how to make the proper investments into the things that are real game changers for your health. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you download that Home Wellness Blueprint. It is free. I created it for you to help you navigate this health and wellness space. Enjoy.